Three, two, one. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chris's Chaos Shoots and Swears edition with your hosts, Chris Cortez and my buddy for all elite wrestling content, Jonathan from at Bad Guy Wrestling. And tonight we are covering a review for WrestleDream AEW 2023, October 1st, held in Seattle, Washington. What a great way to this next night was pretty crazy. Okay, just right off the bat, we know what was coming was Edge was going to make an appearance, and sure enough, he did. But yeah, Jonathan, what do you think? What were your thoughts on this right off the bat?
Right off the bat, I had no clue that Edge was going to be coming
You
out,
did,
so I
yeah.
didn't look at any kind of rumors or anything on this one. So that
You,
was pretty epic.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I said, let's see if Edge comes out, and then what did you think of that when I texted you that?
It was like, huh? Does
Hmm?
he know that I don't know? I was
Well,
like, he's not coming out. He's not gonna.
okay, good. You weren't expecting it, then. All right.
No, just too many surprises this weekend.
Contract was up for Edge for Adam Copeland in WWE. There were so many talks about him going to AEW online and the IWC, and then the way the card was built up with Darby Allin versus Christian Cage as the main event, kind of set it up for this like big main event, this big like superstar kind of appearance. So I just had we all kind of had. I mean, it seemed like it was in the air, and sure enough, it happened. You know, I wasn't expecting this card. Was the way it was set up was very kind of bizarre. I was not expecting it to be set up this way, but it worked out. It worked out. What would you think of this show?
Overall, I thought it was really good.
Yeah,
Um, just looking through it, I don't know. I don't like this trend of having like the Ring of Honor World titles or the tag titles defended as the first opening match. It's just
yeah,
weird. It's weird having MJF as a champion and he's opening the card and not in the main event.
yeah. I think that is kind of weird. I was thinking the same thing. Like, are we gonna just keep doing this thing where the heavyweight champion is starting the show and he's defending it, and he's such a like over the top baby face right now, as far as like what he's trying to present. It's almost borderline. I mean, it's just kind of borderline comical. The way he the way he comes out, the way he presents himself, and then two, the way he wins this match, that first match against this tag team that really has had no built up, called the Righteous.
Yeah, they got
Uh,
a cool promo this past week, but
yeah.
they
Okay.
are they've come out of nowhere unless you're like following like
Right.
all of wrestling. It seems like.
I had no I had no real like I had no knowledge of this team that much. I wasn't because I wasn't following much of what was going on the last week building up to this pay per view.
Yeah, they
I
had a
did
good
see.
promo.
Okay,
They
okay,
they like kind of gave him a lot of personality and whatnot. So they went from just these weirdos to okay, these weirdos that are a little bit compelling.
yeah, yeah.
It's
So
just
that's
weird. I just don't get it. They keep like this is like an AEW trend right now of like bringing in a brand new team or wrestler to the AEW environment. They might be big deal somewhere else, but then like throwing them at the champion and then immediately losing. Like it's weird. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
yeah. It doesn't really. And then not only that, but it was like they basically just I mean, he by himself somehow single man he managed to single handedly defeat these two guys with a bunch of ridiculous um a ridiculous kind of like win. Somehow managed
Whatnot.
what does that say about the team, the
Yeah,
Righteous? Like, you know,
they're jobbers, is what it says.
right.
It
I mean,
says they
that's
will
what it
not
says
be
about
here
them.
very long.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't say much about them if that's what they're doing. Um, you know,
Yeah,
I,
that's exactly how I feel about it.
so I don't know why they would do that. So I'm trying to check and see right now to make sure that this is actually going through live.
It
Not.
is. I see it.
Oh, you do?
Hmm.
Okay. And you see any people joining in yet?
I haven't clicked on the stream. but it's showing that it's live.
Okay, well that's good. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to make the connection. I've done it before. I thought I did it right, but either way, we'll keep going. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, let's take a look at some of these matches. Really, honestly, there's some good matches like Eddie Kingston versus Shibata. Thought that
Yeah.
was a cool match. You know,
Yeah. He was killing me in this match, Eddie Kingston. Some of the
yeah.
when he'd take a hit and he'd be like, ah, ah. I was like, this guy is my favorite.
Yeah, yeah, he loves doing that. He's been doing that for most of his like time in New Japan, where he was just kind of like really going strike for strike with everybody he faced in the ring, and
Ah.
selling it very hardcore. What about Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart? I mean,
I don't get Chris Statlander in some of the sense. She doesn't
mm,
have like a personality, but I'm
mm-hmm,
loving Julia Hart. Mostly because of how creepy and eerie this stuff is, and uh,
yeah,
but I didn't think Chris Statlander is going to lose this match.
that is exactly what I saw in this match. Yes, Julia was going to lose. Chris needs to keep on defending, make something of this reign, right?
Hmm.
I like Chris's look as far as her size, her capability, and skill. But it was Julia and her look and like her creepy look. It's a very cool look, right?
Yeah.
And it's entertaining, and that's what I got from the crowd. The crowd was like into it, and they were cheering on Julia, and they're cheering on this match. By the end of the match, they're saying this is awesome. I, I didn't think it was a significantly great match. But it was entertaining, and I think it was a lot to do with what Julia Hart was doing in the ring.
Absolutely. So that the problem with Chris Statlander is a probably a prototypical like female wrestler build. Like athletically,
Yeah.
she's big, she's strong, all the things, but she's not memorable at this point, or at least I don't think
Mm.
so. I mean, the most memorable thing to me is that she used to be billed from the Andromeda Galaxy.
Yeah, yeah. The alien look was
Yeah.
was was more like effective, I guess. Um, but yeah, I mean, I do like watching her in the ring, but yeah, there needs to be more reveal as to like who she is
Hmm.
moving forward.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
I'm not trying to beat up on her and say that she's bad. She's a great wrestler, but
Yeah,
I'm saying like they haven't given me like any reason to care about her yet.
right.
It's not like she's done it and it just didn't go over. It's like there hasn't really been much at all to even
No,
like latch onto.
no, no, no. So we'll cover. We'll talk a little bit more about that match. Then you got the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros versus Hook Orange Cassidy Guns. I mean, I watched it. I thought it was did what it needed to do. I wasn't that impressed. What'd you think?
I thought there were some really cool moments in it.
Mm,
If anybody I was impressed with, I get more impressed with the Guns. I mean,
yeah,
it's I expect greatness out of Young Bucks and Lucha
right.
Bros. Uh, the Orange Cassidy and Hook stuff, like they are individual wrestlers, so I don't expect like amazing tag team wrestling with them. But
Yeah.
like the Guns, they went from kind of being, even like a year or so ago, like just like I don't know, they were just kind of overrated. They like were just there. Now they're like starting to really like develop um like real ring like entertainment type stuff, and it's
Mm,
just I
yeah.
don't know, I'm just saying that I think they're really starting to hit their stride finally as heels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? And that is what I noticed was the Guns was taking it to Penta a lot.
Hmm.
They were doing a lot of tag team moves and combinations. I did take note of that. But then in the end, of course, Young Guns kind of, oh, sorry, the Young Guns, the Young Bucks took the took the match, kind of like stole the match in the end. They kind of
Yeah.
sealed the deal, if you will. Didn't see much from like Hook and Cassidy. I thought it was nice to see Cassidy back in the ring. I hadn't seen him in a while, so.
Yeah.
And then this might have been my match. This might have been my favorite match of the night. Was Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page.
I really like that.
It was a great match. This is
Yeah.
a great match. It was one of those like Bizarro World type matches too, where like they're pushing for Hangman. Kind of. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like they were kind of pushing for Hangman as the face.
Oh yeah, he's definitely the face in this, but
Okay, well, not in this arena. He wasn't. He sure as hell wasn't. And I feel like it was Swerve, just really catapulted him. This is exactly what I wanted, was for
Yeah.
Swerve to be catapulted to this to the next level, and here he is.
Oh
He
yeah.
is in contention now to being going up against for a championship in some capacity.
Yeah, it must have just been the arena or Seattle, like kind of like some of like a Chicago thing
Mm-hmm.
that like it doesn't matter if CM Punk's a heel or what. Like when he's there,
Right.
they're gonna cheer. Or MJF in Long Island or New York,
Right.
uh, type thing. Because
Same with
Swerve is
Canada too.
yeah, Swerve is definitely the mega heel right
Yeah.
now. Like, and Hangman is just coming off like he's gotten back with the Elite and all that kind of stuff, and the Young
Mm-hmm.
Bucks and all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So he's a face right now for sure. So
Yeah.
it is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe the Seattle just has a bunch of like mean people that just like to cheer for the bad guy like me.
I see. That's the thing. I don't know if he was a hometown hero in this case. Was he like from Seattle?
I don't know what.
I need to look into that because it sounded like he had like roots in Seattle. Uh, and I just feel like Swerve is kind of given. It's time for people to give him his due. I mean, he's been doing great work the whole year.
Yeah. Oh, he's from Tacoma, Washington. So yeah.
There it is. There it
Yeah.
is. It's Swerve's house. It really is Swerve's house.
That's why. That's why. Okay, so what I wanted to bring that up. Then I was like, I even mentioned it to my wife. I was like, oh my goodness, look, he's doing like a little mini like promo. Well,
Yeah.
and then he does the Who's House, and then I'm like, oh, he's just doing his catchphrase. That's
Right.
really unexpected because
Yeah.
she doesn't know wrestling very well. And I'm like, this is kind of unexpected what he's doing right
It is
now.
kind of unexpected what he's doing.
But now it makes total sense. I just don't know where every wrestler lives, apparently.
More and more, I love this guy. It's total mark for this guy. His in-ring ability, his look, his presentation, his entrance,
Yeah.
and his demeanor, his whole like character, everything about him. I'm just all for it. I'm all for it. Like this guy kind of reminds me of. If you look at New Japan, he kind of reminds me of David Finlay. The way his swagger. It's the swagger that he has, that he walks the ring like he owns everything. Yeah, I'm all for it. But I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next.
Yeah.
Because he is championship bound. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I could definitely see him. He could easily make a pit stop, hold the TNT title,
Sure.
and then once he's done, challenge for like an actual world title.
I can't remember. Has he won the TNT title before? I don't think he have.
No, because I think he was busy doing the tag team titles.
Right.
With
He needs to get a TNT or international title. I thought he already had one in the coming. He's going to be I want him
actually
to
international title makes more sense.
Yeah. As far as his mid-card run, and then I do see him winning the AEW World Championship. Sooner or later, it's going to come to him.
Yeah.
I just see it coming to him at some point. He just deserves it. If he keeps this up, if he keeps doing this and building it up, he's going to be AEW World Champion. That's just my look.
Even just based on having Moxley and the international title, like it kind of seems like a title that's already above the TNT title. As far as the prestige kind of
Wow, what were your thoughts on that, man? We never got really into this. What were your thoughts on like Ray Phoenix winning the title the way he did against John Moxley? And what do you think? Like, did it pull like unexpected, but also like did it? I talked about this in my last video. Did it kind of blow the air out of like the momentum with this title and like the build up?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I mean, this isn't the first time they've tried to bump up, one of the Lucha Bros up into like kind of like that main event type main title kind of hunt. And maybe this is another one, but
yeah,
I've just never had them, at the top on a singles level. I mean, obviously for tag team title, they have won. They beat the Young Bucks, and that disgustingly match that was very entertaining.
I love that match. I remember it like it was yesterday, Jonathan. I was watching it on the TV, in my living room, just kind of going nuts. Were we watching it together in the old crib?
I think so.
Yeah,
so.
It was awesome. We were just
like, oh
yeah.
I was making Eddie Kingston noises.
Yeah, a lot of Eddie Kingston noises, a lot of reactions. That just was very happy to be watching that live when we did. So
yeah.
So I mean, here's what I was going to say though: is that Phoenix I have nothing against Phoenix winning the title, beating John Moxley. What it is that there was no build, none.
Yeah, it was just all right. Next week, here's a match.
Here's a guy who Moxley, obviously who he is. He's beaten a guy in Orange Cassidy who had held the title for so many defenses, and then he goes and he wins it. So the title is kind of like, just burning for someone to take the title who deserves it, a face, if you will, someone who's like new, and that's great. So it should have been a guy like, it'd be perfect for a guy like Phoenix, but there's no build. Moxley defends it twice, one or two times, like.
Yeah.
Give him more defensive. Let him hold on to that title. So they didn't do
exactly.
that.
Yeah, I mean, with no build, there's definitely, it just doesn't feel right. And so, and then you couple that with like the air, just completely, the analogy you have just gone like from this like thing that Orange Cassidy lifted up, Moxley legitimized the title completely, made it a big deal, and then it was like,
okay. my only kind of like thought about that is perhaps John Moxley had to take a break. If that's the case, okay. But like maybe because he was doing commentating tonight. He's saying he's off, so maybe there is something going on that I haven't heard about. That's great. Yeah, but if that's the case, what's up?
Maybe it was unplanned.
Like unplanned, exactly. If it was unplanned, okay, I get it. Like, these things happen. But if that's the case, you're gonna have to build up Ray Phoenix. You're gonna have to put a lot more effort into building his reign up.
Yeah.
There needs to be some sort of. There could be a perfect storyline. Here you go. Like whoever comes and competes against Phoenix should straight up say, "Look, you beat a weak Moxley. You beat a guy who was already on his way out. He was injured. Something was going on with him. You are not worthy of being this champion. And there should be some serious heat, and somebody should seriously call him out on it.
Yeah.
And then he has to show that he's worthy of holding the title.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
like, I guess it's telling, like, if Moxley comes back and challenges or something, like,
right.
You would normally expect them to, have a rematch or Blackpool Combat Club get involved or something like that. So if this is just a clean handover in the sense of like, well, he probably hurt himself and needs a month off or something. Here you go.
Well, let's look into this next match. Okay. Ricky Starks versus Wheeler Yuta. A good match. Again, kind of didn't see it going too far. Was a fun little match, like what Ricky did, like what Yuta did. And of course, there was no other expectation other than Ricky Starks wins this.
Yeah.
So.
He's
the whipping boy. Moxley's on commentating. He confirms. Okay, so I'll talk. I want to get into some notes about this one because this is some good stuff here to really get into it. Okay, Jim Ross and John Moxley are on commentating. Right, they're on the table. Mox points out that this is Yuta's first singles match in AEW, like his first singles match in AEW pay-per-views.
Yeah,
so that's a good kind of a stepping stone for a Wheeler Yuta.
Paid off.
Blackpool exactly.
If we're going kayfabe here,
Mox confirms, okay, that Yuta is in fact the whipping boy of the BCC. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing. That's nothing to be frowned upon.
I still love that promo Claudio did.
Yeah,
where he's like beating him up during the promo and being like, "Well, congratulations, you beat Yuta. We beat him all the time just for fun like this." He's like uppercutting him, and you're just taking it. And then he does his next line of the promo. I love it.
Okay, well, here's what I loved. Okay, building up to the match. This was on Grand Slam, building up to the match against Kingston. Claudio's like doing warm-ups, okay, and all of a sudden he just like strikes Wheeler Yuta in the gut. Okay, and he's like, and then like gives him a little hug. Okay, yeah, get back into it, and let's go.
He's turning into the Spike Dudley.
He's like the Spike Dudley of the BCC. That's what he is. A little bit better, but still kind of he's the whipping boy. I mean, that's it.
Oh yeah, this is a young boy type thing or something.
Yeah. One of the things that I wanted to point out is that Big Bill comes out during that match with against Ricky Starks, and like it kind of set it up for like Big Bill to maybe get involved, and he did a little bit, but not too much. Okay, nothing too crazy, and kind of set up for like I thought maybe there might be some interference to the point where Moxley could very well attack Big Bill,
Yeah.
set up something, but there was none of that because Mox clearly is out, like something,
Yeah, he's on commentary. And
He's on commentary.
he didn't get up and run down there and
Didn't get
interfere.
up.
Yeah, he's like yelling at him things to
Right.
do. So
Yeah.
instead of I gotta go right now.
A lot of make him pay for that shit, for Mox. Okay, a lot of that. All right. He's like, yeah, you see, he can do it. Yuda's in control.
Yeah.
And then he talks about, it's a Rochambeau for the victory, by the way. But Mox is like, yeah, no, this is no big deal. We're looking out for Yuta, for 2 years down the line, not for anything going on right now. This is all just experience. Okay. So here's another match. And okay, so this is obviously my favorite match of the night. This one and the Swerve Strickland and Hangman match. I think those are my top two favorites. Kingston match and the Shibata match was great. It was getting a little intense though. Just going back to the Kingston Shibata match was getting so crazy with Shibata like taking all these hits and just getting right back up. That's the one thing I will say. Kind of almost like shied me, like kind of like made me feel a little bit less like invested, or made me feel like I don't like this match as much because I felt like Shibata, this guy, and he doesn't always do this, but he's just no selling like things that Kingston's doing to him that anybody else would just get knocked out if they did it, if they took his hits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm guessing that has to do with the strong style or something.
It does, but at the same time, it shouldn't. It doesn't always go that far, But this is definitely up there. This is tied for my favorite match, without a doubt. Brian Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. I'm never gonna stop with that. That match. What did you think of that?
I mean, it was very entertaining.
You like it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for staying power. I mean, I can't tell you how the match actually went from my memory. Like, it was a bunch of real technical stuff.
Right, and that is Zack Sabre. That is a Zack Sabre match.
I know, it's fun in the moment, but it's just I don't know. I'm never gonna really remember it. I'm gonna remember that it happened.
Yeah, some of the things I'm gonna remember about this match, okay, that if we want to get into it, is that one, the arm was the story, the big arm, the issue with Brian's arm, okay, that following the Okada match, okay. Two, just being able to go hold for hold and being able to kind of tire each other out for the moment, like after each, and they would kind of release after going hold for hold, technical for technical maneuver.
Brian
and then
was the aggressor.
I'm sorry.
Brian was the aggressor.
Brian was the aggressor, but I feel like Zach was able to kind of counter his moves to the point. I felt like the story they were also telling us here is that Brian had never really faced anybody like Zack Sabre Jr. before.
Yeah.
And I almost felt like this. I mean, I really did think, okay, Brian's going to win. And even more so once I remembered, oh shit, it's in Washington. This is his hometown. There's no way he's going to lose. But more so than anybody else, I thought this guy posed a threat because he was doing things, in the ring that just Brian is not used to.
Yeah.
But once Brian did get control, he was able to be the aggressor. He's hitting the strikes. And that's how he won. He didn't win via technical wrestling, but more with his strikes, the way he always usually kind of wins, Busaiku knee, stomping the guy's face in. Yeah. And that's fine, but it was a fun match. I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, for a match that really just didn't have any build-up.
Yeah.
Not that it was announced for a while. So it definitely had build-up in that sense, but it wasn't it was a WrestleDream match, right? So
it was the WrestleDream match, yeah.
Exactly. So the hype around it, so the spectacle of crowning that technical wrestler, who's the best in the world type of thing, on just the wrestling part, not the theatrics of wrestling or the most entertaining, but
right.
It makes it something to me. And while I'm not going to remember every move that was done in it, I'll remember that spectacle of that event.
Yeah. I mean, this is what it is. This is what I love about Sabre is that he will work on a specific part of the body and he'll keep going through it. And the difference between him and most people, most heels or most just wrestlers, is he'll follow through with that body part and he'll do like maneuver, like stretches to that body part to the point where you like cringe. You know what I mean? And then you have to kind of you have to like believe that this guy's tapping you out.
Yeah,
You know,
so he kind of tells the story throughout the whole match of
big time.
like I'm targeting this place so that I can finally do a finisher to that.
Right. And when he does it, he like it's like chess, not checkers, you know, and he stretches the crap out of somebody. And he saw it coming. I saw it coming with Brian. And towards the very end, I was like, okay, he's gonna get him. And then of course he broke out. He hit that Busaiku. I believe what did Brian do? Brian went back to the stomping, okay. And then Zach counters with the Juji Gatami, okay, little arm bar or whatever you want to call it. Brian hits a cradle, Regal Plex. He hits something that William Regal would have done. Okay. They called that out. And then, of course, Busaiku knees. Okay. And then another Busaiku knee for the pinfall. That was it. I mean, it was kind of like from then on, okay, this is how Brian's going to win. But it was interesting to see just the way in which Zach was able to kind of counter maneuvers and kind of slow down Brian's momentum. Every time he tried to shift into fifth gear, sixth gear, he would kind of like pull the brakes on Brian and be like, no, watch this. And I love the joint manipulation. He definitely made that look good.
Oh yeah, with like the snapping back of the
Yeah.
fingers and
yeah.
Or was that Brian doing that? I don't
that
know.
was Sabre doing it.
That was Sabre doing it.
That was Sabre doing it.
So I don't know all his movesets and everything. So like I've only seen him once or twice.
Right.
You know, so for a casual like myself.
well, no, you've always seen him appear in AEW like here and then Forbidden Door. I mean, that's it. So like, you know, it's like if you don't watch, unless you're watching New Japan all the time, like or like some like you know English promotion, you're not going to get to see Zack Sabre. That's why like I bought into this guy a couple years ago. When I first saw him in 2016, I wasn't sold. I was like, because he was a little bit slimmer, he was a little bit more like he was a little bit younger, and he had this kind of move set going for him, but it wasn't nearly as entertaining as he's perfected it. You know, he's perfected it, and he's gotten bigger, and he does attacks. You know, for anyone that tells me he's not entertaining, they can go to hell because he really is entertaining in the ring. And he does things right. You're damn right. He does things like the neck crank. Did you see the way he uses his legs to crank the arm or the neck even?
Yeah, that's what Chris is going to be doing to you.
That's what I'm going to do to you if you don't think this guy is entertaining. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. You don't
Guy's cool.
like him,
right?
You better think he's entertaining.
Damn sure is entertaining. Okay, people don't like his stuff, and that's fine. Hey, if he's not your cup of tea, that's great. But you can't tell me this guy can't put on a hell of a match with anybody in the ring. So I'd love to see. Okay, now following through with this match. I was thinking about this, and you tell me who do you think is going to be the guy to actually beat Daniel Bryan? Because what he's doing is it seems to me like he's going on like a tour. Okay, he's going on kind of like a Kurt Angle farewell tour. I'm not saying it's going to end anytime too soon, but he's trying to line up all his dream matches before he kind of like sets off into the sunset. Who do you think is going to be the guy that beats him?
Whew, that's a damn. If I knew more about him, like if he had like a hero or something that's still wrestling, or
so.
Is it going to be like a Japanese wrestler?
I think if it would be one guy, if he goes after one guy, it's going to be a Japanese wrestler, and it's not going to be a Japanese wrestler, but it's going to be a guy from New Japan. Mm-hmm. I could see it being Ospreay.
Okay.
Like if he gives the nod to Ospreay, he's like, "Okay, I'll lose to you."
Have they had matches together?
No.
Okay, so that's a good idea then.
The other guy is Kenny Omega, who they've had that like no contest match. I want to see it again. We've never seen it again, have we? You tell me.
No, I don't think so.
So we need to see those two go at it again. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would like to see him lose to Kenny Omega. That's what I'd like to see him lose to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because Kenny Omega's still got some time left. He's still got at least some years in the game. He's arguably at the top of the game.
I see it.
If he's number one, but like he's in his prime.
I think he's I think he's in his prime. I mean, I think he's still in his prime. I think that it's amazing that, like, looking back, I was like, wow, like I was looking at this guy as the best wrestler in the world about 5 years ago. Yeah. And I see him now, and he's still there. Like, he's still so good. can't take anything away from this guy. So, I think that he deserves just as much credit as he did back then. So, speaking of which, we'll talk about that 8th match. Okay, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi versus Konosuke Takeshita, Sammy Guevara, Will Ospreay.
This might have been my favorite match of the night.
I get it. I wrote a fucking shit ton of notes for this match. But yeah, go ahead.
I mean, really, this is like the coming out party for the Don Callis family stable. Like, I tweeted about this of like, you're putting together like these 3 individuals that might become more mighty, or this is, I'm adding onto it that, the parts or the sum is greater than the parts on this one, just because of the Don Callis effect. You've got, and so I was saying, like, you have one person who's like an international wrestler that's like needs to learn how to be able to like tell compelling stories without having a language having a language barrier.
Right.
And then, Ospreay, like, he might already be a great wrestler, but he's not well known.
Exactly. Getting more exposure.
Yeah, exactly. And you put Don Callis with them, and it's like immediately the focus is on him, so he can go be him and test out, is this guy a superstar? And then Sammy Guevara, I mean, like, I'm not gonna say he's underperformed because he's so young, but like, he is a phenomenal athlete,
right?
And like, he's got credibility and whatnot,
right?
And like, he's still really young, and like, he's getting better. But I think Don Callis can really refine him down and get him and all 3 of these to superstar status.
Ironically enough, it's the small guy, the newest guy member of the Don Callis family, who's the most well known in AEW, Sammy Guevara.
Absolutely.
He's probably the most. I mean, honestly, I think that like when it comes to high flying maneuvers and whatnot, he is like maybe very well the most like incredible high flyer in the whole business. Like he does it seamlessly, and he does it with grace. He doesn't even. He's the guy is really good, and I'm not even one of those guys. Yeah, I'm not even one of those people that likes high flyers that much. I like him though. Okay, yeah. I like his attitude. I like his look. He's just so good at being a heel. This team has, like you said, coming out party for Don Callis family. I think that if you put these 3 together, like, you could probably stand them up against any other 3 wrestlers in the whole business. What do you want me to say?
Yeah, tonight they became a legit, in my eyes, a legit stable, and also a stable that like means something, that like can make some noise in AEW. They're legit.
They're very legit. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, imagine this. Like, let's say you put this team up against a Daniel Bryan, Wheeler Yuta, and Claudio.
This team's going to win, probably.
This team's going to win. Yeah, exactly. You switch out Claudio, you put in a Mox, this team's still going to win. Like, what do you want me to say?
Yeah.
This is a good faction. They need maybe 1 or 2 more, but they're ready.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you have like Mox and Daniel Bryanson and Claudio, maybe they win if it's like a hardcore match or something. But
yeah,
this team collectively, like, any kind of championship run, as far as from a singles, like Ospreay going after the the world title, or you got the other 2 doing tag teams, or they could all be 3 trios or whatnot. Like, it all makes sense, like, because they're a really good individual talents, and they're only like getting better by being all together, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's exciting. I'm very much looking forward to it.
And here's the thing: they look good in the match too.
Oh, they got
like
real
the little kids out to school. It was like, damn, like, they look like they should win this match.
Yeah, that was kind of the scary thing. It was scary because, like, I felt like they were like just overpowering, dominating the other team after like a while there. Like, you could see that they were just dissecting and just kind of isolating each member. I was like, man, I mean, and there were times that Jericho and Ospreay and Omega, and Kota Ibushi were doing a hell of a job. They were doing good teamwork. I mean, it could have gone either way. They're not a team, though. Yeah, they don't like each other, really. I mean, except for the Golden Lovers. But, like, yeah, I mean, there were some cool moves here and there. A lot of F.U. Callis chants. I liked that. Yeah. What do you think of that entrance? You got the Last Supper, and you got Don frickin' Callis in the, in the position of Jesus.
I know. It is, Like Paul Heyman,
blasphemous.
Like, you love to hate him, but this guy, man, he really wants you to hate him
big
for
time.
real. Not even like understanding that it's fake. He wants you to hate him.
Let me explain something to you. If I was in the room with this guy, I would not want to talk to him. I don't want to talk to this guy. This guy is like a piece of shit to the fullest. I do not want to talk to this guy.
That's the problem is you don't think that he's acting. You think this is like, yeah, he's a wrestling promoter. This is him.
Yeah. This is a guy I do not want to make a deal with. Okay, because he's gonna screw me over.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't want to leave him in the room with my dog or anything like that because the dog's probably gonna end up, sick or something like that by the end of the night.
Yeah, and here's a note: all three of these guys, from Guevara to Takeshita, and obviously Ospreay, they're all heels, and they're all probably better as heels. And so, like, if they can learn from Don Callis on like how to be compelling, how to like make them eat it up on the camera, like I do when he's out there, like, he's a piece of shit, but I love it at the same time.
Oh, it's fun to watch, that's for sure.
Yeah, so if they can rub that off on them, like that is like three of them that would like do really well if they can just like get to that last part of the equation.
I like the way that Jericho was kind of fighting off. I mean, the way he was fighting off the other guys, the Callis side of things is pretty fun because he was definitely showing. I think he's showing off his best self, just working with the two other guys, but also like when he was singled out, he would fight back. Still a lot going on with Jericho. Still a lot of strength. Like still a lot left in Jericho is what I'm trying to say. Like he's so good in the ring. Like he's so good at what he does.
Yes, Jericho, please bring back The Rock and wrestling for next year.
Yes, that's what we're hoping for. I can't ever like imagine a time when Jericho's gonna like kind of like take off the boots. But one thing I will think of, it got me thinking about was the match against him and Guevara. I guess it was a Dynamite, where Guevara did attack or did low blow Jericho. Now, I don't know if you knew this, but this was essentially just a mirror image of WrestleMania 19 with Jericho and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
This was basically, exact same way. It was just now Guevara was playing the part of Jericho, and Jericho was playing the part of Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure every time I've heard him talk about wrestling, he seems like he's the historian of wrestling and all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All about it, like. So I'm sure he knows all these different matches by heart, and sees the parallels and is paying tribute to that type of thing. Or knows that it did well before. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was a big influence for it.
Got me thinking about it. Who do you think would retire Jericho?
Man, that's
Sting?
a good question. It barely crossed paths,
Right. Yeah. I mean, is he like the Undertaker's, like the version of the like AEW's Undertaker? I don't know. Or like would someone like Guevara do it, or some? I mean, I have no idea who would retire this guy.
I guess it depends. So he stays in AEW in this situation. Is that the case?
Yeah. I'm just talking about like.
Sting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or no, what if it is Kenny Omega? What if
could be Kenny Omega?
What if he's like, you know what? I don't. Behind the scenes, like it doesn't matter if I beat you or not. I'm still Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Where maybe Jericho losing and putting over Kenny Omega as his final match does a lot more for Kenny Omega than any harm it could actually do to Jericho.
What do you think of Kota Ibushi?
It's fine. I mean, he's like, had some spots. I don't really know him that well. So
when he gets in that crazy face, you see that face he puts on?
Yeah, and then
that's a thing.
He's like immune for a second.
Right, he gets this look on this dead stare. He's been doing this for a while, and I do kind of, get a little bit like, amused by it because when he does it, it's just he's just like stone cold, and you can do whatever you want to him. It's not going to do anything. He attacks back, he strikes back to big shots to Ospreay, one to Sammy. Takeshita, they're like gonna have a program. Takeshita and Ibushi is what they seem like they're trying to set up for.
Oh, side note, I just looked up The Rock and Chris Jericho's cruise.
Yeah.
Was it the Rock and Wrestling Cruise?
Yeah.
It is back. It's coming out in January, end of January.
Man.
I know. It's going to have like Gangrel on it and Santino Morello. And
we got to find out what are the dates for that? Because I'm probably going to be working, but
I know it's January 26th to 30th.
January. What are those? Let's see what those dates are. January 26th to the 30th. Huh?
All right, everyone. Welcome to Shoots in our calendars. We're taking you through our.
Okay, so you said the 26th through the 30th.
Yeah.
That's Friday to Tuesday.
It's
not to mention, not too bad. Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. If I can take off those days, I'd have to. I'll let you know if I can see if I can do it.
Oh man.
I don't know. It's gonna be a tough call, but
it says wrestling by All Elite Wrestling.
Oh. So that's it could be an AEW kind of I mean, it kind of was last time, like it seemed like it was AEW kind of influenced. I mean, obviously, AEW approved.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, man, what if they did like a rampage, like a live rampage or pre-recorded rampage from that or something?
Yeah. A lot of ref kind of influence, like ref interference or what, not ref interference, but distractions of the ref and all that going on with this match. Ospreay actually holds on to the ref to give Sammy time to break the count. Callis hits the Jericho with a bat. Okay. Sammy gets the pin. Ospreay holds on to Omega and Ibushi.
Yeah. There's a lot of movement in this match.
Yeah.
Just people in and out all the time.
Yeah. I mean, just a lot going on here. Oh, I want to talk about that shooting star press from Guevara onto the outside, onto Omega, who's still standing.
Yeah,
that was a pretty amazing move right there.
Just like you were talking about earlier. He's physically gifted.
He's very physically gifted. This guy, okay, can't help but love this guy. Okay, so if there's anything else to say, we'll think about it. But for now, it's 9th match, FTR versus Aussie Open AEW Championships. I mean, at this point, I almost felt like the sail, like the wind from the sail, like underneath the sails, was calming down because of that previous match was so epic.
Yeah,
I don't want to say it was a complete bust, but like it definitely like took a lot out of the crowd. I'm not saying they were definitely still into this match, and I think that Aussie Open and FTR did what they needed to do to keep it like still entertaining. Okay, so I mean,
this was another dream match type of thing.
Yeah, and I almost thought Aussie Open was going to win this. I really did predict. I didn't think that they were going to win, but I wanted to see them win, and I wouldn't have been surprised if they won. But yeah, this just goes to show. What's up?
I mean, so I was just gonna say, like there wasn't too much hype. I mean, there was like a week or two. Like it wasn't just thrown onto the card, and they didn't even talk to each other first.
Right.
Like, it's just not much of a reason to really care too much.
No.
Like another. It's like FTR's gimmick is like, we're the best to do it, and we love our family, and we're excellent, all that type of stuff. But like, I don't know. It's not like it's hard to sometimes get into their matches or care about them because just because and like the I was rooting for Aussie Open on this, but you can gauge it by the amount of Aussie chants in the crowd that the excitement was down.
Yes, it was down. It was down. You could tell. You could tell in the crowd. It was. They had lost their energy after that previous match, and this does go to show that FTR is like the best tag team in the world right now, and they're proving it. Like with their this is now becoming a better reign. I think facing teams like Aussie Open is what they need to do to really solidify this current title run. Because it's good match. It's a good match. A little more buildup. Could use a little more buildup. But the problem with that is if you do build it up too much, what's going to happen is apparently that's what happens with AEW is like you give them enough buildup, they're going to lose the titles.
Yeah.
But that doesn't always need to be the case. I mean, they should be able to have some build, and there should be able to be some a good investment, a good draw, like a good kind of like setup for it. And then, FTR wins to show, why they're the best time and time again. This was one of those cases where they did, prove that they're the best. But again, was there a lot of investment?
They need to kidnap their family storyline or something like that. That's what we really. That was when wrestling was great. Was when we were kidnapping family members, and that was a normal Monday night.
Right. This is
FTR. That big car you have, that big black, classic. I know it's got a big trunk in there. You can put 2 family members in. So that's 2 of you, 2 family members, and then you can easily start a storyline that compels me.
Right, like you got their daughters literally sitting on the side of the ring, being held hostage, if you will, against their will, as as FTR, is trying to win in order to reclaim.
Driving through dirt fields. I'm coming to get you, baby.
Reclaim their children.
I love you more than I love wrestling, but
I'm gonna prove it by wrestling.
Exactly. I'm gonna beat them and show you how much Daddy loves you.
There you go. That's the truth. So
we can stay with I love wrestling and we're the best tag team in the world, and and that's what we do, storyline. But let's add a little flair to it.
So let me talk a little bit about this match.
Let's get back to reality.
Yeah, let's get back to reality. Cash and Dax really had it controlled starting out with this match. It wasn't until I feel like it was Davis, who the bigger dude of the Aussie Open, hits that slam senton. Okay, Fletcher's tagged in. Dax able to take control, brings in Cash. Nice spot where Aussie slams both FTR's backs against each other. Like they run them across the ring and they slam them up against each other. That was a pretty cool move, right?
Yeah.
And then a nice spot. Again, Aussie slams. Let's see. Again, the slam, the senton by Davis to Cash this time, okay? And then Cash is pretty much in the ring for most of this match, okay? He tries to slingshot Fletcher out of the ring, but still can't get a tag to Dax. And just a lot of that going. A lot of what I was going to really point out here is that a lot of the times Cash is looking for a tag to Dax, but Dax is nowhere to be found because he's been knocked off the ring. And then when Dax is going to try to make a tag, he's been knocked off the ring. So it's Aussie's trying to isolate the FTR at any given moment. And that was their whole strategy. It seemed like that was the whole story going into this match.
Yeah.
Until finally Dax and Cash are kind of working together as in unison. And you get just a whole shit ton of shatter machines, okay, going on, okay? And that's where I thought that Aussie Open might have had it, because they literally had hit 2 shatter machines, and Dax kicks out. You get a spike pile drive, pile driver to Davis, but a suicide by Kyle Fletcher, and then Cash with the uppercut, super shatter machine to Kyle Fletcher, and FTR is victorious. See, I don't know if you remember that. What did you think of all this?
Yeah, I mean, when Aussie Open hit the shatter machine,
right?
Then I don't remember what their actual finisher is that they did right after that. I was like, that should be over. They should be the new title holders. And that was the surprising thought, because I never thought that FTR would even lose this match. I thought it was a given.
Okay.
Even though I do really respect Aussie Open.
Right.
But I just thought it didn't make sense for them to lose it. So I was like, I was actually shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, they kicked out of it. Okay. And then they did that pile driver or something on the apron, and momentum completely changed. They, like you said, did all their moves, and shatter machine, and then the pin right there, clean right in the middle of the ring. And so they look great. Good match. Good compelling match.
Yeah. That was cool. Again, top guys out, right?
Yeah. Times 10.
Times 10. I did not, and it was interesting. It was just the variations of the shatter machine that Aussie Open was able to deliver. I thought that was really cool. Always interested in watching them. So I'm glad that they're getting the exposure that we were hoping for.
Yeah.
Speaking of crazy ass storylines that with a build, let's talk about this main event. And this is what we're talking about. You got freaking this dude, Nick Wayne, right? Yep. His mom is involved. His dad, apparently, his posthumous dad, right? Because his dad died, right?
Yeah.
And he's talking about the way in which Tell me the story, Jonathan. What's going on with this?
Well, basically, Christian's been like messing with him. He like, and then after he starts messing with him, he tells him he can be his mentor.
Right.
He's gonna mentor him, even though he's like sucks and like his dad sucked and all this.
Right.
Stuff. And then he's been like kind of like
courting,
hitting on his mom.
Yeah.
Distance and stuff. So,
right.
Like he's just like trying to son him and be like,
he's trying to make it. He's trying to big earn him from Kingpin.
Yeah. It's just like, you know, he's dadding him.
He's dadding him. He's like, I'm.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna be your new daddy, is what he's saying.
And he's pulling it off, kind of, isn't he?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is the best version of like.
This is Christian on another level.
Like this is the best I think I've ever seen him.
Ever. Like, I mean, the way he comes down the ring, the way he's like standing in the ring when he's being like his name's being introduced and whatnot. He's just sitting there with his head up. I was like, God, I love this version of Christian. It cannot get any better. So smug. Yes. Such a piece of shit. And then you got Darby in the mix of this stuff. He's trying to get the TNT title. Okay.
Yeah, he's got that writing on his back or something. Like
yeah.
New face of TNT. It's like, no, you're not.
You see Nick Wayne come out to like give him a hug as he goes out there. I'm just thinking the whole time, I'm like, Sting can't come out. So it's got to be up to Nick Wayne to help out. And you know Nick Wayne's going to freaking turn on him.
Yeah, Nick Wayne lost to Luchasaurus on the pre-show.
Right. So I did not see that. Did you?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, me neither. But I heard about it. Yeah.
So, you know, so he comes out there, and you know they have the big turn there, and it's hysterical. Like this guy got his ass beat. Like, by Swerve that one time, and he's just coming getting his ass beat all over the place. And now he's gonna be a heel. I love it.
Oh, I love it too. Like I just, you could tell. Like he's like, this is for what you did to my mom, what you did to me, what you did to my dad, and then sure enough, hits Darby. It's ridiculous. You saw it coming. You had to be crazy if you didn't see it coming.
His ass beat later.
The best. Okay, this is some of the best stuff. Okay, this is the big like slam onto the steel step. There's like significant spots here that you had to pay attention to. The steel steps, right?
Oh my goodness, Darby Allin. Like, say what you will. I mean, I'm not always the biggest fan of him, but
right.
Damn, does he take some damage?
He takes some damage. I've never seen. I mean, very few people can do what he does. The best though, I thought, was when Christian starts tearing up the pads. Okay, and he's like, he still has to get back to Darby. So what does he do? He gets on the top rope. He frog splashes Darby onto the stretcher.
Yeah, the replays were awesome from the other angle.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
You know, kudos to that stretcher. It really held up quite nice.
Yeah, it did. It did. And then like I was just trying to think about like I wanted to ask you, what was the first pinfall victory for Darby?
I don't know. It was like a fast something or other.
It was like a roll up.
Yes, I don't know if it was a roll up or just something. It was like a kind of a surprise. I don't know. I was looking down for a second. And
I was so like kind of like, you know, moving around and trying to like, you know, keep up. And I swear I think I missed it with a blink of the eye. Like I just like 1 minute I'm watching, the next minute there's apparently it's 1-0. But I did see the count out, you know, after him slamming him on the steps, and that was more obvious. So I just want to make sure I wasn't crazy here. And then, you know, at some point, Christian hits a kill switch onto the boards. I thought that was it. Near fall though. Scorpion Deathlock applied. Rope break by Darby. Darby hits that death drop. And then the coffin drop for a near fall. Goes for it again. Christian takes out the legs. He goes for a suplex to the steps. But instead, he can't pull that off. So what does he do? He hits that sunset flip powerbomb onto the boards. Christian then spears the ref. Big low blow to Darby Allin. Nick Wayne, of course, takes the title from Christian. And then, of course, we see him hits Darby, does Wayne. Mom is shocked. Did you see that? Mom was like, "Why? This is what we're looking for, right?"
She gets it.
This is some Jerry Springer shit. She does know how to sell. Yeah, I mean, she comes from a wrestling family, so she knows what she's doing. Christian's smiling, like, "Good boy, you did what you needed to do."
He does. He's like walking away with his head down.
Yeah, it was great. Hits the one, you know, gets the 1, 2, 3. You know, you see Sting come out. I think it was important that Sting came out to try to like he beats up on Christian and Darby, but then gets attacked by Luchasaurus. So like, okay, you know, Sting's still on Darby's side. So that is when you're like, okay, it's 3-on-2. Who's coming in to fill in? You know, you get the lights out. You get the. They said, "You think you know him" instead of "You think you know me," and you get the Alter Bridge song. They've bought the rights to that song. It's amazing. You know, WWE does not own the rights to that song. I mean, that's owned by some company. They probably pay like, you know, annual. They probably have some sort of annual contract with Edge to have the rights to that song. And sure enough, that probably died when Copeland, you know, when his contract died. So, yeah, I had a feeling they were going to buy that song, or I thought they were going to buy. If they were going to buy that song, I thought maybe we were going to hear the Rob Zombie song. Either one would have worked. Yeah, either one would have worked. But they went the right way with Alter Bridge, and then they said they called him Adam Copeland. They can't use the name Edge, which I do think kind of sucks. I do feel like Edge should have his name. I mean, that is his name. I get it, but it's not going to matter though. We're still going to call him Edge. Like, I don't care. I'm calling him Edge. So, you know, Edge comes down the ring, does his little. I mean, he does his whole entrance. You know what I mean? It's not like he's even trying to save anybody. He's just making his entrance in. But of course, that's enough to keep Christian, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne at bay. They hand the chair to him. He's like, "Yeah, give me the chair. You know, I'm on your side." But of course, he strikes Nick Wayne, Luchasaurus. Christian powders the hell out of there. Flosses the TNT title.
The best look on his face.
Yeah.
Like when Edge's music hits and he's just.
Yeah, I almost feel like he was like in awe just at the fact that his buddy was now in the company with him. That's about it.
The best thing is, so obviously there's going to be a feud or something here, but one day they're going to reunite Edge and Christian.
Yeah. This is something, yeah, they have to. They have to. They're probably going to win the AEW titles at some point, okay? Like the tag titles. I do think Edge is going to make a promo about being like, look, you know, I said I came back to win, to have one more run at the world title, but I didn't say which world title it would be. It makes a lot of sense that if he's going to win a world title, he has to win a world title. You know what I mean? Yeah. He has to have it in his contract. You know, this is very interesting. I mean, this is the first time that we're seeing a WWE wrestler come to AEW since like CM Punk, essentially, during like the wars. I'm not talking about Jericho. Jericho was kind of like already in it with AEW once they started. I'm talking about.
This person would be Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Daniel Bryan, though, has not won a title yet. He has not won a title in AEW. You're absolutely right. I'm trying to think, though, because he seems to fit so well with WWE. I'm sorry, with AEW. And he wasn't. Here's the thing, though. He wasn't a WWE homebrew guy, like kind of like Edge was. Edge has always been WWE, you know? He's kind of
had the Ring of Honor stuff, right?
Yes, Daniel Bryan was like a Ring of Honor guy before this. And then you got, of course, CM Punk. I feel like CM Punk's going to go to WWE.
He should.
He has to kind of make like some sort of contract with WWE. And you got Cody Rhodes, you know, going to WWE. I mean, there's going to be a couple more switches here. We really are like in the midst of a war between AEW and WWE now. Now it really is in full swing.
Last week you had the women's wrestling change here.
Right. Got Jade Cargill going to WWE. I mean, that's a great pull. Pickup, yeah. And that makes sense too. And it's not like AEW really needed Jade Cargill. It's not like they couldn't use her, but at the same time it made much more sense for her to go to WWE.
There's not a whole lot of top like talent on women's division in AEW, so like Jade Cargill can go to WWE and go up on the links. Sasha Banks, or not Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair,
right?
Like Nia Jax,
right?
But
here's the thing. This is what makes it so great is that you're going to get somebody like a Jade Cargill. You're going to get some mid-card talent from AEW, switch to WWE, and then WWE is going to take that talent and push them to the stratosphere. It's what they did with Jericho.
going to be MJF probably.
If MJF ever does switch, if he ever does get thrown into WWE, you're looking at like the next like Rock. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy is on another level.
I think that's going to happen. Like I don't know that I necessarily wanted to, but it just.
I don't see it happening anytime soon, but
it's just next year, and like they're going to give him a contract offer.
Of course they are. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if he already has a contract going into 2020, like say 2026, and this 2024 bidding war is just going to be a story.
Honestly, he hasn't done it much because he's kind of like a pseudo face
right
now.
Right. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. But what's to say if like a Randy Orton didn't show up in AEW? What's to say if like trying to think of some other guys from like WWE that just really could use a switch to AEW, like a Seth Rollins.
A few guys that got fired here recently.
Exactly. Yeah, like who's been fired recently, Jonathan?
Let's see, like Dolph Ziggler was fired.
Yeah, I could see Dolph Ziggler going to AEW.
Yeah,
definitely.
Not that I really care about it, but he's gone. Who else did we get? It wasn't like a crazy amount of like top names or anything. They were either like Shelton Benjamins, like the people that are on their way out.
Yeah.
And I think there was one.
I kind of want to see Finn Balor go to AEW. I feel like he would fit there perfectly. Yeah.
Absolutely, because like if he can't get the world title on like not from Roman Reigns, but if he can't get from Seth Rollins, he's probably tapped out.
He is.
Never gonna get. He's ever anywhere. Oh, other guy, Elias. Elias was let go. Dolph Ziggler, and a bunch of NXT.
Kind of sad. If I was AEW, I'd want to pick up Elias and take him right back to where he was and like build him up like crazy. Build him up because he could have been a superstar. He was. I mean, he was a superstar. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was over for sure, especially the music aspect, and I feel like people still kind of even wanted to like him with his brother gimmick. Or whatever.
Yeah. So. Didn't like it, but I get it. Like the guy was very likable. So. Matt Riddle. Oh, he's got to be AEW bound. He's got to be AEW bound, and he could be a champion. Like he is AEW bound. Like he will fit the mold perfectly. So yeah.
And then if you do get Randy Orton into AEW, then you got Matt Riddle too.
You got that tag team, and then they could feud. They could do what they were supposed to do, in WWE. So.
Yeah, I mean they did it, but then the injury came into place for Randy, right?
Yeah. Well, it's been a good one. We've covered a lot. Probably, I would say we'll probably come back again at some point, hopefully this week, talk some, major issues or topics, revolving around the wrestling world with another episode of Shoots and Swerves. We will definitely talk a little bit. I'm trying to think. I'm going to be going to Pittsburgh this weekend. But any plans for the weekend, Jonathan?
Not my anniversary. So.
Oh, well, damn! You definitely got an anniversary. You definitely got plans. Something's going on. We'll talk about that later. Yeah.
I'll give you a full play-by-play recap.
Yeah, give me the rundown. Give me the rundown on that. So, but we will get together soon, guys, with a Shoots and Swerves episode. I will be covering New Japan. Jonathan, what do you got going on your side of things?
I'm going to be talking about Jay Cardigan in detail between the two promotions, and I'll probably do some more storytelling aspects with this pay-per-view and things like that.
Okay. Yeah. If I do get into a little more about the matches, I might go in a little more detail about it, but I'm not really. I feel like we covered just about every key detail. I really just wanted to make sure that we covered this, the moments, and there were things. There's so much going on. I almost wasn't going to be able to capture everything, but I feel like we did a good job getting what we needed to get. Looking forward to October 7th, but most of all, looking forward to October 9th. If you're going to want to watch a New Japan Pro Wrestling match, it's going to be that, or card, it's going to be October 9th, okay? Got Sonata versus Evil. Yep, that's a big one. Yota Tsuji versus Ospreay. I saw that while I was on the plane in Hawaii or something. It was a good match. I enjoyed that. and a couple other matches. But yeah, it's going to be and Naito versus Cobb. That was a good match. But anyways, I digress. Guys, if you haven't already done so, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure to join us on Twitter and Instagram. You got at Bad Guy Wrestling, as well as at Channel Cortez 33. Guys, it's been a pleasure, and we will see you next time. Okay, you have a great night, and hope you enjoy your week. Take care. Bye.
Peace.